Hello and welcome, fellow bibliophiles. I have a haul for y'all. I haven't seen you guys in about a month since my last haul due to the fact that this is not my main channel and I'm doing a Thriftmas type of deal over on my main channel, which is why this channel has suffered. So I'm sorry for that. Hopefully this very large haul will make up for it. And I do have an announcement at the end when I get towards the bottom of the books of what my plans are for 2023. So hopefully you guys are here for that. If not, thanks for clicking on the video. Have a good day. The first two books I'm going to share with you are things I picked up from my friend Matt over at Bookpilled. He, like myself, we both resell as our full-time gig and make YouTube content. And I support him just like he supports me. He's a great guy. And I bought two books from him on his Whatnot auction. I picked up Andrea Norton's Lord of Thunder because look at that cover. I had to have this. One, after reading Iron Cage for New Worlds November, which I will link that video up above if you haven't watched it. I feel like I need to collect all of Andrea Norton's books now, and I'm really sad that I didn't pick up the Sue book that you guys talked about when I was in San Diego. So I picked this up from him, excited about that. And then I also picked up Dragon Drums by Anne McCaffrey. Another vintage paperback. This is like the third book in Dragon Song series, so I don't have the other ones, but I actually have read plenty of Anne McCaffrey's Dragon books just out of order, and most of them stand alone pretty well, so I'm gonna hope the same for this, but by the time I get to this in my TBR, I probably will have found the other books. Hopefully, fingers crossed. And then I went thrifting for my Thriftmas for my main channel, and I came across just a glut of books. And while I am reselling a bunch of them over on Whatnot, which I will link down below, it's going to be January 2nd at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you also like vintage books, I'm guessing because you're here and you would like to buy some, they'll be down below. It's just up there. But these are the books I'm keeping because I couldn't bear part with them. I found so many Zelazny books at this bookstore, and I did decide to keep a couple of them. So this one is Wizard World by Roger Zelazny, and I can't give up this book. First of all, it's brand new, so I found it in brand new condition, and it's just this amazing wraparound cover, and I thought this was awesome. And I don't know when this one is from. This one is from 1990. So I thought it was too good to let go. And then I also decided to keep this Roger Zelazny and Robert Sheckley collaboration. And it's mostly because I read the back of the book and I was like, this is also brand new condition as well. And it just sounded so funny. It's about like good and evil fighting for the world every 1,000 years, and they made like a Prince Charming. It just sounded different, so I decided to keep this one. So this is from 1991. I mean, it's got, you know, the typical great 90s cover, but yeah, I decided to keep those two. This is Raymond Feist and Janny Wirtz, Daughter of Empire, another one that I decided to read the back of the cover and was like, oh no, I have to read this one too. You know, it's a very female protagonist, so that's my jam. So hopefully this is good. I've not read any Feist, so hopefully that'll be a lovely one. And I didn't read the back of this, but I just want to read it before I let it find a new home. It's Death Hunter by Ian Watson. It just seemed like a nice little tight read. Hopefully it'll be a tight read. Who knows? But it's a dragon with a little hoard of little jewels down there. So I picked this up and I was just like, you know what? We'll give it a go. And then, I think it was my last book haul, I picked up Not So Mother by Alan Dean Foster. And you guys told me that Pip and Flinks, that was part of like that series of books, and I found another one. So this is Mid-Flinks, and this is supposed to set them into Alan Dean Foster's Midworld, which is one of apparently his most famous standalone books. But here is the cover with my fingers in the way. So I was excited about this. I feel like maybe I should read For Love of Mother Not. That's the title of the book that I cannot remember. But maybe I should read Midworld before I read this one, just so that way I have a better basis. It's from 1996. And then my heritage Japanese, my grandfather brought my grandmother over from the Second World War when he was stationed over there in the army. So my heritage is Japanese. I know I don't look it, it's fine. But when I saw this, I figured I had to keep this and read it. It is a collection of short stories where the future is Japanese. I'm guessing they're all set. They're either written by people that are from Japan or they are set in Japan. So I'm excited to read this. I don't read very many anthologies, but I felt like I had to. I felt like I was called to one, buy this, and then two, read it. So pick that up. Plus the cover just looks really cool. So the next book I'm gonna show you is Hyde, and this is by Craig Russell. I'm guessing this is a modern adaptation of Mr. Jekyll and Dr. Hyde. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. My brain hurts right now, so excuse the words and my inability to make them come out of my mouth appropriately. But I picked this up because you guys know I prefer hardcovers, so this is actually pretty great. Who knows when I'm going to get around to reading it, but it sounded interesting enough that I wanted to hold on to it until I could have that opportunity. I also found a copy of Wind in the Willows, a classic YA. It's like a young adult. It's not even like a young adult. It is like middle school age reading. But I've actually never read this. So I feel like I need to rectify this because I do know that this is a classic children's book or middle schooler book. And you guys know I love the anthropomorphic animals. Again, not a furry. I just like that kind of story. Don't judge me. I'm hearing you judge me from here. You know what? Nick Cage is judging you right back. So there we go. I also found a David Brin. So the next two books I found are slightly water damaged, but they're not bad. It's like right here, it's like something spilled on them. And it's only the first couple of pages, and it's not warping them too bad. So I found, unfortunately, both this David Brin, which is Kiln People. I feel like this is one of his more modern books, but yeah, you can see here the water damage. But it's not that terrible. When was Kiln People written? I'm sure someone is screaming at me through their either phone screen or the 2002. Wow, this is a first edition. I don't know why in the world I thought that this is technically vintage. Jeez. All right, well I found a first edition David Brin book, and then I also found Destiny by Elizabeth Hayden. Again, another female protagonist. This is actually the third book in the Rhapsody trilogy, and I do not have the other two, but this is also a first edition, which is also why I decided to go ahead and pick it up. Hopefully it's good, and hopefully I can find the other two books before I read this one. If you guys can hear what sounds like a lorry very loudly driving back and forth next to my house, it is not that. It is, if you don't know what a lorry is, it's a tractor trailer. I'm sorry. I just like saying lorry because it's shorter and it sounds better to me. There's a really bad windstorm outside, so if you just hear a lot of clattering, that's what it is. The next two books are also hardcovers. This is a collaboration between Mercedes Lackey and Larry Dixon. This is Owl Flight. I have a grand love of Mercedes Lackey ever since I read Bar the Sword from her, and I am just slowly trying to collect all of her books in hardcover. I also managed to find a first edition hardcover of Beggar's Ride, which sucks because this is the third book in this world trilogy, And what I really need is Beggars in Spain. I need Beggars in Spain. I actually recently came across Beggars and Choosers by her, but I decided not to pick that up because I want to get the first book first. And I think I can go ahead and go into that. And, oh wait, no, I got a couple more. Okay. So I also picked up at a local secondhand shop this hardcover, this is a book club edition of All My Sins Remembered by Joe Haldeman. And look at this cover. I saw this and I was like, this is coming home with me. That is just, first of all caked up on a Friday, double cheeked up on a Friday. I just thought that this was too cool of a cover to leave behind. Again, a nice tight read. So I got that as well. And then I found them. I found all of them and I am so excited. So I got H.B. and Piper's The Fuzzy Papers and then The Fuzzy Sapiens. So that's the first two books. And then I also picked up the third one as well, Fuzzies and Other People. So apparently this was written 3 months after these books were written and published, but then he died. And so this manuscript was buried in a trunk for 20 years before it got found, and then this was published. Do you need to know that? No. But you know what? Now you do. Now you know that, and I have the Fuzzies. I've heard about this on Sci-Fi BookTube, and I feel like I need to read this in order to be fully inducted into this group of people. So now I have a big bag of presents from Ryan from R2 My D2, which we'll get into. So before I show you the rest of the books, mostly because they have to do with my announcement, I realized that as I was looking back over the channel for this year, that a lot of the books that I really enjoyed in 2022 that I read were all award-winning books, and they all happened to all win the Nebula Award. So for 2023, I have decided that I am going to read all of the rest of the books that have been awarded the Nebula Award. Starting from the very beginning with Dune. That's my second in Charles receipt. But I went ahead and bit the bullet and bought Dune. This is just a really nice hardcover, very fancy. I have never read this book. I feel like there's a little bit of shame in not having read this yet. I have a very good reason not to have read this. I had an ex that I purposefully try not to talk about because whenever I do, they just reappear in my life. But this was his favorite book, so that is why I have purposely not read this book. But I'm going to break that now, and I'm going to start off 2023 by finally reading Dune, and then all the other books that I have not read that have been awarded a Nebula Award, which is why I picked up these ones. I have found Joe Haldeman's Forever War in the same place that I found All My Sins Remembered. So I picked this up because this is also a Nebula Award winner. I also picked up Paladin of Souls by Louis McMaster Bujold. I also have her book Free Falling, which I think is what it's titled, but I have that one as well. I picked that up in paperback, so I think I have both the ones from her that have won the Nebula Award, so I have this as well for that. And then I also found a copy of Startide Rising. This is a modern copy by David Brin. So down below, I'm going to have linked an actual, I've been asked this, which is the only reason why I'm saying anything now and why I'm going to include it. I have had a wish list down there, but that's like some modern books that you can buy off of Amazon that'll get sent to me. But there are a lot of these vintage books, especially like the older Nebula Award winners, that I can't find on Amazon, and so maybe y'all have better luck than I do. So I'm going to have a wish list down below of books that I am looking for in order to complete collections or to complete, so I can have them to read for 2023, so I can complete this Nebula Award challenge that I'm giving myself. You don't have to. My mailing address has been down in the description for forever, so that's where you can send them if you happen to have them and are willing to donate to my efforts. But that'll be linked down below. And speaking of sending me things, Ryan from Over R2 My D2, who I sent the dig when I found an extra copy because I knew he was looking for one, has repaid me in kind and then some, and sent me an absolutely massive bag from Australia, because that's where he's from. If you like book hauls, I highly recommend his channel. He is just as addicted to books as I am, in both the wanting to read them and also wanting to own all of them. So if you like vintage sci-fi and fantasy and just overly nerdy things, I do recommend his channel. He mostly just does book hauls. Apparently he's also individually wrapped each and every single one of these and then put a little note, which is very cute. That's very cute, Ryan. All right. So I've saved all these little notes and I put them in my binder. Anytime you guys send me a letter or anything, because I've been on the internet for a long time, anytime anybody sends me anything, I have a binder, which I actually need to get a second binder because I've, again, been on the internet for a very long time. So. I get Christmas. Merry Christmas. The Girl of the Sea of Cortez by Peter Benchley. This is cute. So this is supposed to be interesting because of the author. What about the author? Author of Jaws, The Deep and the Island. Wow, okay. So apparently this is not a scary book. I've never read Jaws and I've never watched the movie. Do not hate me. I'm just not into horror. My nightmares are bad enough as they are. I don't need to add fuel to the fire. So thank you. I will definitely read this, especially since it's not supposed to be scary. And I do definitely like, and this feels a little YA, and so that's right up my alley. So thank you for that. And one of your favorite authors, he's Aussie, and it's his only sci-fi, kind of. I feel like I also need to read the newspapers because, you know, what kind of stuff does Aussie news report on? Because I know what American news reports on. News. What is the Aussie press any better? Who knows? Alright, so this feels like a paperback. And I'm just destroying this. Contest by Matthew Riley, author of Ice Station and Temple. Edge of your seat suspense from Australia's new master of action. It's an action book. Oh, this is by Pan. So remember, I'm starting to learn as I pick up more books, the different publishing houses from all over the world. I think it's just so cool. An electrifying novel for the X-Files generation. Matthew Riley is our Michael Crichton. Well, that's interesting. Okay, I will read this. I've only read one Michael Crichton book all the way from beginning to end, so it was okay. So I will read this one. No, it was not Jurassic Park. I don't know what it was. I don't remember what it was. It was not memorable, if that helps. It was just like, this is a book that I read. Okay, because it was somebody else's favorite book. They recommended it to me, and then I read it, and I was just like, eh. So hopefully that'll be good. I believe in you. Book 1 of an Aussie author fantasy classic. This is so sweet. It's very sweet that you individually wrap them. I don't know if anybody else thinks it's sweet. They might just think it's annoying. Like, just come back when you've opened the packages. Y'all really like your horses. I think this is the second thing on the paper that I've seen that has horses on them. Oh, this is a cool cover. Circle of Light, Book 1 of the Chronicles of the Custodians by Martin Middleton. I like the way these feel. I think I understand what Matt means when he talks about, yep, this is, well, this is from 1990. Nice. All right. Circle of Light by Martin Middleton. I will read this. I will definitely read this. In the veins of novels of Feist, Donaldson, and May. Fantasy hero. Okay, so I'm guessing this is a high fantasy. Thank you. I will definitely read this. It's crazy the difference in like how the books feel. Like, I'm guessing these are y'all's like mass market paperbacks, and they feel so much different than ours. Like, these are very floppy. Like, this feels more sturdy. I kind of understand now after holding a couple of them why Matt prefers not American bindings. I do like the vintage Ace paperbacks though. Hawaiian fantasy that impacted my life at a young age for the better. Oh, I love YA. You know that. You watch my videos. I'm so excited. This is very much like Christmas. This is very cute. Thank you. I'm just saying the same thing over and over again. Again, brain is not working very well. There's no horses on this one. Victor Kelleher. Oh, the cover's cool. Winner of the Australian Children's Book of the Year Award in 1983. That's a very good year. Story of a young boy's quest for truth. Okay, so this is like a boy's adventure fantasy, which would explain why you liked it. Master of the Grove. Very cool cover. This is a puffin book. So cool. And this is this from reprinted 1984. Thank you. This is, I'm so excited. This is so cool. The thing is that no, you did not. Is this actually got this in it? Did you, does this actually have Vegemite in it? Or is it just one of those like mini brand things? A little tiny bottle of Vegemite. But I don't know if is this just one of those mini brand, am I gonna break this? I feel like there's nothing in here. I don't think there's anything in here. I feel like this is one of those mini brand things. So I'm just going to put this right here, and we're gonna hope that there's no actual food in it. Jeez, there's more in here. You really outdid yourself. I sent you one book, and you sent me so many. Oh my goodness, thank you. And you literally put a note in each. It's so cute. This is so thoughtful and so cute. One to make outlaw bookseller envious. I don't know how that's possible. That man seems to know everything about books. So I don't know how in the world this book would make him envious. I feel like there's so very little that he doesn't have. CJ Chalmers Venture. I feel like I need to go watch more of Outlaw Booksellers Backlog, because I've only did they give the cat boobs? I have seen some of these books in our secondhand shop. Of course, they're not, you know, an Australian printing, so they don't feel the same. But I think I have seen something from this world from hers. So CJ Terry's Chinner's Venture, and they gave the cat boobs for some reason. No nipples, because that's too much, but they gave the cat a hint of boobs. Ryan, if you could like link me what you're referencing for Outlaw Booksellers so I can like know specifically what you're referencing there, I would appreciate that. Oh, did I not read the thing? The first in a long barbarian fantasy series. My hands don't work. I don't have feeling in half my hands. The Tarsman of Gore. Look at this cover. I've heard of this. And it is the first one. Oh my god, it has all the rest of them in the back. I like how they just named it a thing of Gore. Of Gore. This is great. Thank you. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Spare copy to give away. Okay. 2 staples growing up. Okay, so a spare to give away. What did you give me a spare of? Matthew Riley's Contest. And then, is there another one? Oh, you will just want me to give it away. Okay, I can give it away. So this is Matthew Riley's Contest. I don't know, is this, what is this? I guess this is a suspense book. So if you want a suspense book, how do I give this away? I don't know how to give this away. I guess if you want it, comment down below, or if you're interested in it, and I will pick a random comment, and in my next book haul video, I will choose the winner. Does that work? I don't know. I've never done a giveaway before on either of my channels, so I don't know what to do for this. So if you want it, just comment down below and I'll figure something out. And the next time I do a book haul, I will let you know you've won. The complete book of naughty stories for good boys and girls, all 13 volumes. I am concerned. And then Paul Jennings' Round the Twist. So this is something that he said was like 2 parts of growing up in the late 90s and aughts. These are like part of growing up experience for him, I'm guessing, in Australia. Yeah, because this is Young Australian's Best Book Award. Thank you for giving me like a little snapshot into what it's like growing up in Australia for you, and like the things that meant a lot to you in your journey becoming oh my god, I cannot say words. Ryan, this was incredibly thoughtful and very, very sweet. Thank you so much for sending me, sharing all of this with me. I will read the stuff that you sent for me to read. And again, if you would like the Matthew Riley Contest book, leave a comment down below and I will figure out a way to make that happen. So thank you, Ryan. This was a very long video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I have a lot of books and a lot of paper to clean up now. So I will see you guys in my next video, which probably won't be until next year. But who knows? Maybe I'll impress all of us and have another video before the year ends. But until then, bye. Bye.